very much, Ballpex, for having the opportunity. Well, thank you for the opportunity to present today. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm going to jump right in. You know, the legislation has occupied so much of our time over the last 1-2 years and continues to through this year. It's a different situation now. We're in the middle of it, and we're in the implementation phase rather than the knowledge phase. Things are progressing and new things are happening as well. So I'm gonna go over some of the updates and some of the now future outlook, and we'll try to do so efficiently. I will say that if there's any questions throughout, feel free to ask while we go through it, because we're covering a lot of different topics, or you could save it for the end, whatever you prefer. So on the left, I show the SUP, and I have a few bullet points. Right now, we're in the middle of eliminating certain source of plastic pollution. We're also strengthening domestic end markets for recycled plastics. So the recycled plastics is part of what's coming forward. We're trying to improve the value of plastic products in the recycling stream, and we'll go through that. So today we have the current regulations. I've summed up what the regulations mean to us today. The regulated items include stir sticks, which plastic could still be used for if it's polypropylene, or you could move to a wood stir stick. For cutlery, polypropylene has passed. PS is being eliminated, so anything polystyrene cannot be done, but polypropylene is still good to go. There's new changes in the testing. I'll provide the details. And as everyone on the call knows, there's wood cutlery available, and there is now paper cutlery available from Polarpack as well. That's an innovation. As far as straws are concerned, polypropylene has also passed the tests, or we can all move to alternative materials such as paper, PLA, PHA, and more. Complete ban on the bottom of the page. Anything to do with foam, so expanded polystyrene is fully regulated, and any black plastic is already or is currently transitioning to clear or other colors. I'll certainly recommend as clear or white as possible to keep the recycling stream clean. So a timeline right now is that on December 20th, 2022, there's no more manufacturing or importing for sale of Canada. That's already taken place. We have until the end of the year to sell through the products into the Canadian market. Manufacturers are given a little bit more time, but you guys, the distributors and your end users, could still purchase and sell product for an indeterminate amount of time, as long as it gets sold from manufacturers such as myself by December 20th. There are still pending lawsuits that could change things, but for now, we're considering it law. And really, we believe the only thing that would change it is one of those lawsuits or a change in government, which is obviously something that's hard to predict. What's new? So those are the regulations that we've been talking about for a couple of years. New things have come into place, particularly over the last 30 days. So over the last 30 days, Canada's made a couple of significant announcements. First of all, there's now a framework for recycling for the first time. It's great news. Ontario had a blue box program. They were doing similar things. And now we have regulations and a goal for what recycling should look like in Canada. So it's a next step. It's good news. I have a lot of words here, but food contact packaging for now isn't included in the regulations, but we expect it to be updated. Here's how it's going to look for Canada to roll out the recycling situation. In the second column, you'll see all the different types of applications of plastics. And in 2025, they want to start receiving information. And then before 2030, they want to gradually introduce the minimum percentage of content of post-consumer or post-industrial recycled plastics that's going to be used in the making of virgin product. So over the next 7 years, we're going to go from a situation where recycled plastics are not very valuable and not overly used. And if some of you know, you're trying to purchase product or asking us to make product with post-consumer or post-industrial recycled materials, it's quite expensive. The government is pushing the recycling market to expand. to try to get to a place where it depends on the category, but anywhere from 30 to 60% of the container will have recycled content in it. And in doing so, they're going to drive down the price of post-consumer and post-industrial plastic resin, and therefore make a much more cyclical economy. So that's pretty big news, and we welcome it, certainly. The first step was eliminating black plastic from the streams, because black causes the plastic to have a tint, and it makes it into a less desirable clarity. So for everyone to have the same nice, clear plastic packaging to attract their products, we needed to eliminate the colors from the stream as much as possible. The other new piece of information that I'll share that I don't know if you've seen or not, again, it's over the last month or so, is that the testing of plastic cutlery has changed. So we were in a position where we had the 100 dishwasher test. It's pretty famous by now. We've been talking about it for a couple of years. Our products, as well as some of our competitor products, some have gone through the testing, and the ones that have passed a dishwasher 100 times without changing shape have passed, including ours. Now more stringent rules have been put into place for the testing because there was a lack of details. Now it includes detergent in the dishwasher. It includes the temperature of the water. It includes different results grading, from clarity to shape change to application. As you can see in the pictures, they've released examples of what a 2-tier or 3-tier dishwasher should look like. And now there's new testing to do. So we've analyzed the testing criteria, and in my second bullet point, it notes bottom line, no change expected. So no change is expected, as it's noted. The potential exception could be on PLA because of the temperature of the water. We'll provide information to the market as these testings get done. A timeline for the testing is months, if not years. So it came out in April. There's no timeline provided by Canada for testing that had previously been done. It's valid. Anybody who wants to do a new test has to do a new test with these regulations. Polar Pack will go ahead and retest based on the new testing. The testing facilities that we work with have advised that they need several months to set up the potential to do the tests. So they need to purchase cameras that go inside the dishwasher, that work at those temperatures, et cetera, that they'll talk to us likely in the fall. So if in the fall we can proceed with the testing, we will do so. The testing will take several months. We hope to be able to go to the market, let's say, give or take January 2024, with our updated testing results. Again, no change on the current testing. The current testing is valid, and the current testing remains for an undetermined amount of time valid. At Novolex, we have a certain approach to sustainability that aligns with the slides that we talked about. Our mission is to be the leader in environmentally preferable packaging. As everyone on this call knows, we have a whole breadth of services available to all the geographies in Canada and all over North America. We could work with any of your end users. We could work with anything from paper to plastic to compostable to recyclable. It's extremely important for us. Sustainability isn't just a one issue. It's sourcing raw materials. It's the way the products are designed and manufactured. The use, the end of life are very important. The point that I'd like to make with this slide is that what is the one thing that we can use to grade ourselves on our environmental impact? And it's noted here, it's greenhouse gas. So the leading ability to grade yourself and to evaluate your own sustainability is on greenhouse gases, it's on climate change. And when we're looking at products in the market, it's important to understand how it impacts climate change. And it could be a piece of plastic cutlery that's made in Montreal. It could be a piece of wooden cutlery that's coming from offshore and brought over on a boat. Each one has its own greenhouse gas result. And we have the tools to provide you with the impacts if you'd like. That's a service that we offer at no charge. And we have all of those different materials for you. The slide here is going to be something that we're going to talk about in the coming years as an organization and a partner of Bulpex. It notes it here. If food waste was a country, it would be the third largest greenhouse gas emitter in the world. So food waste in the world emits almost as much greenhouse gas as the United States. It's a very, very big problem. And the reason that food waste emits gas or emits methane in this case, is because too much food goes to the landfill. A plastic fork, a wooden fork, a piece of paper fork, a metal fork, when it goes into a landfill, if it's crushed and unable to touch oxygen or water, it will last thousands of years. If it's composted, that's great. If it's recycled, that's great. But if it ends up in the landfill, any substrate is a problem. We need to keep things out of the landfill and bring them to a cyclical economy. And when something enters the landfill that has food on it, it goes into the landfill and the food emits methane and it becomes a polluter. So what we're going to be talking about in the coming years is how to keep food out of the landfill. And the way to keep food out of the landfill is by using our products, by channeling the food away. So taking that piece of plastic cutlery or plastic container, getting the food into the bin for the compost, and getting the plastic recycled. And the same thing goes if that materials was paper. Anything lasts forever if it's crushed enough. We need to keep food out of the landfill. We need to stop greenhouse gas. And we have the way that it enters into the landfill. So the packaging that we sell brings it to the landfill. We need to find a way to get the packaging to bring it away from the landfill. It's extremely important. And as this is a topic that's discussed more and more, the market is getting intelligent. That's the way to analyze and to measure your sustainable impact. And we need to use our products as a way to keep out. We have a lot of different ways of doing so, like we had before. We're going to do the right raw material. We're going to design and manufacture the items properly. We have the use and the end of life, but everyone on this call could really make an impact. Our products are the ones, like I said, that lead the food to where it goes. And we need to just make the cyclical economy much better and have essentially a closed loop system, which is very available. And that's what I have.
Does anybody have any questions for Jason, concerns about the presentation or Polar Pack? Nobody?
I have a
We're
question
all
here.
experts?
No,
Yeah,
I have.
Matthew from Colabor. I have a question, Jason. Thank you for the presentation. I'm sorry I missed the first 5 minutes, but what's your take on PLA going forward, knowing that in Montreal, it's prohibited? I mean, is it something that Polar wants to continue bringing innovation? Or, I mean, what's your take on that?
Hey, Matthew, good to see you. Thanks for joining. What we want to do is we want to be able to offer the customer what they could work with. So for Montreal to have said no PLA, I think it overlooks the fact that there's compost facilities in the greater Montreal area. If we're working with an operator, with an end user that has no compost facility available, they should not be purchasing PLA. It's very straightforward. If they think that they can properly dispose of it with PLA, then PLA is a wonderful solution. It's all about how it's going to be disposed of and how that will be handled. So we want to be able to to advise the customer what's the best for them. So if you could compost and you can compost food packaging, PLA is probably the best solution that's available in North America in the market today. But if you can't, it's just marketing to take a PLA cup and say, hey, look, I'm using something fantastic, and it ends up in the landfill. It's not really acceptable.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jason, it's Scott here from Itwall.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, quick question. In terms of the retesting, is there any issue with, your product is, we've got the letter, we're selling it, we've got the approval now. Is there any issue in the interim in terms of it's approved until it's not approved again kind of thing? Like you don't anticipate any issues, but is there any interim issues?
No, there's not. So there's no timeline on it. So the test criteria was released now, and it says if you do a test today, this is how you have to do it. Before that, we did the test as we had to do it. They're not telling us you have to retest now that we have this out. Anyone who had a test yesterday, the test is valid and it's valid for life. Now there's more criteria for the test, which is something we actually asked for. And we're going to go ahead and retest it, but not everybody may and not everybody has to. So
Okay.
The tests that have been done to date are all valid and continue to be. The tests that are done going forward have just more detailed criteria to work with.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? No? Okay, well, thank you, Jason. We do all really appreciate your time and the update that you have given all of us. I'm sure Jason is available if there's any questions that you have afterwards that maybe you couldn't think of during the presentation. But again, this presentation will be uploaded to the member portal to rewatch and to share with your teams. Again, thank you so much to everybody on this call, and especially Jason for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I look forward to working together, and we can all do better together. Look forward to it, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Janice,
Yes.
how long does it take to upload to the portal? When would that, would we be able to expect that?
Within the next 24 hours.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, Chuck. Have a good day, man.
You too.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.